Hi, guys. My name is Thaon Sims, and welcome to the Limitless Podcast. Joining us, as always, is your co host, Dr. Matthew Preston. Hail up the people in Matthew.
Hey guys, what's up?
Spectacular, spectacular. Oh, this is the New Year's episode. Happy New Year, everyone. We're actually recording this earlier on. So, for the New Year, we did something a bit different, a little special. So, normally in our show notes, we always say we're not licensed financial advisors because we're not, right? And the content of all our episodes of this podcast, they're solely the opinions of us, like the hosts and our guests. But on our show today, we have the number one licensed financial advisor in Jamaica, Mr. Danhai Hall. Hail up the people
What,
in
what,
Danhai.
what, what an introduction.
Nah, but it's straight facts still. So, I mean, I'd love somebody to prove us wrong, but it's all I've heard from your clients. It's everywhere. It's on Twitter everywhere. So yeah, welcome to the show, Danai. Oh,
Oh,
Danai, I actually can't hear you. Oh no, it chipped out.
chipped out again?
Yeah, I don't know if you pressed the mute button. I don't know.
Bro, this is the worst.
How did you press it again?
It didn't even touch anything. The mic,
No.
it's a happy
It's
touch. It don't have button.
oh
If you just glance
no.
it, it's gone.
Yeah. My guy says, "What an introduction," and then silence. But
Yeah.
yeah, um, but yeah, that's yeah. So that's
And
really
I'll
what
say
the
that,
streets are saying.
I'll say that doesn't need no introduction, then, right?
Needs no introduction, man. So what's going on, Dana? How you
Boy,
been?
always will, always will. Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, quite a year ahead behind us, quite a year ahead of us. So
That is very
excited for
true.
what is to come.
Mm. Also excited as well. So what Preston, I know we had some questions for Dana. I don't know if you wanna start off the questions.
That's
Actually,
cool.
since I gave you such a an elaborate introduction and we talked about like financial advisor, how when did you actually become a financial advisor and talk to us about like that process?
Well, last year. Wow,
Mm,
it feels like more than that sometimes, and sometimes less. More often, it feels like more. Well, yeah, last year May, I got the license in around April. Started advising in May. So yeah, that process quite a government process. You know how that goes. You're in there for quite a while. A lot of
mm-hmm.
background checks and all of that. FSC, so quite a bit was there, and but took a while. I was at Mayberry at the time, working not doing the same thing I'm doing now. I was working for
Mm-hmm.
the house and decided that finally time I've done enough with where I am, what I want to do. So I just jumped into this, applied through the FSC, and they said go ahead.
Nice. So the I know some people are also financial advisors, but on the brokerage house.
hmm
But you're different. You're an independent
Yeah.
financial advisor. That's what it's called.
Yeah, independent investment advisor. So the
Ah,
financial
Unbiased?
advisor, wealth advisor, and the typical investment advisor, they're not really doing what I do. They're more often,
Non-biased.
huh? Oh yes,
Non- that's that's always important, you know?
mm-hmm.
yes. No ties to the house, so nobody holding my talk, right? So yeah,
Okay.
typically they're tied to the host, only give advice through the host, XYZ, and the host say what they say is what the host says. So for me, pretty separate by myself. I am the host in this case.
I actually don't know any other independent financial investment advisor.
It's a
Actually,
very small list. Five hosts.
yeah. And I hear you're the youngest one.
Yep.
Wow,
I,
congrats,
I,
man.
I
That
holding
that's
on
my
to that
compliment.
youngest thing as long as I can. I can't do much youngest anymore. So at least this one for a while.
Okay. All right. So tell us, how did you start your investment journey?
Investment journey. Wow. So
Mm-hmm.
I started knowing about investing a bit before I started investing. I was in university doing an AXI degree, so heavy math, a good amount of investment and insurance in there. And I didn't know anything about it. It was just the math at that point. My teacher, big up Kimbo as well, she, we're having a class and we're talking about stocks. And she said she bought a stock at $1. And then a couple months down the line, she sold it for two. And in my head, I'm like, what the point of that? Like, you make $1? And then she's like, no, I bought 50,000 or so worth of the stock. And then she sold it at 2. And I'm looking around the whole class in my head. I'm like, wait, this woman does say she make $50,000 just a couple months. And we're here.
Mm.
Like my main concern is lunch money and saving to buy a phone. And I'm looking around like it was wowing nobody else in the class. Like nobody else in the class seemed to care. So I link her afterwards. She say, "Oh, get set up, whatever." That never happened. A friend of mine, he got a scholarship,
Mhm.
and he was a doctor. He's a doctor. He was in med school, got a scholarship, and some of the money was left over, around 400 grand. And he started investing that money on the market, and he was buying last D or whatever, and telling about the moves he's making, and telling me he's making some money. And my mind was being blown, and still I somehow decided to not invest and continue saving to buy that phone that I don't have right now. Right? So it was in my
Wait, who
mind at
was
that
that?
point. Huh?
Which friend was which friend?
Dr. Chadwick Clark. You probably
Ah,
yes.
we were
Chadwick.
so on our previous episode. We actually spoke about this with Shanice, but
Mhm.
she never wanted to name. Okay, well, big up, Chad.
Yeah, he invested his scholarship money and did quite a bit with it. And set up himself a good start for when he finished school. And he
Nice.
was telling he was telling me and Shanice at the time still, you guys need to start investing. This thing really works out, whatever. But at the time, you're saving your lunch money. You want to go party. You want to buy
Mhm.
phone. I mean, I'm not knocking it. The game is the game then. But if I could have do it over, I'd do it. I'd have done it that way, right? But
Mhm.
Hmm.
now
Does
they
he
never
still
start
invest
investing.
now?
Oh yeah, man. Heavy investor does quite a lot. So never slowed down at all. But
Okay.
2016 started working, and my first job was in an investment house. I went to VM, and I never started investing same time. I was mostly just looking around, finding about this thing. I mean, I was interested from the teacher told me that she made $50,000 in a couple of months. I mean, at the time, it was big money to me because yo, I make my lunch money is all I know, right? So 2016 never start invest at the house. Nobody else there really invest. Like two guys in the place really invest and talk about investing. Start talking to them. We never
Mhm.
really have time or day to really sit down and be talking to this new guy about what he should be doing on the market X Y Z. But 2017 at the start, either the end of 2016 or start of 2017, Chad sent me a link and said, "Yo, this guy on Twitter, he knows what he. I see him call stocks more than one time. Like him talk about a stock a good amount of time before it go up or whatever is going to happen for it, and the company ends up doing the thing, and they make good money. Like this guy knows what he's talking about." And it was Sir RT Rowe, right? So Chad sent me the link to that guy on Twitter, and I followed him. But my thought at the time was, all right, cool. This you talk about stocks, and I'm going to tell you the right stock, and I'm going to buy the stock, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to sell it. So my whole strategy is based around whatever Randy say.
Yeah. Some people's
Like,
strategy is still about Randy says
oh, yeah,
still, but
man.
yeah.
But like a week after that, I see this man start tweet, "No more free, Randy. I'm not going to talk about picks anymore. I'm not going to talk about stocks like that anymore. I'll be vague. I'm not going to read it. I can't be doing this for free. People making money off of it." And in the end of the day, he was having a lot of arguments, basically, the stock thing go. You talk
Yeah.
about this, whoever vexed, but then somebody was vexed with him about talking about it or whatever. So
Is that
something
tweet
like that.
still up?
Probably. Just search for "No more free, Randy." But you can see where my strategy was crushing. Because
Mhm.
I just find this man, find the golden goose, and he's saying, "Boy, no more eggs." So
No more.
I didn't get anything because Randy stopped tweeting. So I started tweeting under his tweets. Like if you tweet about anything, I start asking him, "So which stock you think going to go up or whatever, whatever?" And I think he got annoyed in eventually because his brothers keep asking him about stocks after him just say I'm not going to talk about no stocks. So I think he eventually just sent me a link and said join this group. He had a group where everybody talks about stocks. We look at whatever stocks in the market, and just a
Mhm.
big conversation around what's going on in the market, what expectations are, how to plan for whatever stock, whatever. So I joined the group, and so I said, all right, so no more Randy on Twitter, but I got some Randy here. So I can go ask him questions or whatever. It wasn't like that. He said one of the biggest rules in the group was no spoon feeding. So
Yeah.
nobody going to get up and tell you what you need to know about the stock. You get asked and you get a back. It mostly self answer. So you ask a question, you hear Randy say, tell us. So you have to answer the question yourself. So that started with me, boy, I have to go learn this thing. And but eventually, at February or so, save up enough money from the job. It was an internship at the time. Just finished internship for the summer and got like a starter job afterwards. So money was tight. I was budgeting in a very, 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 very crazy way. But eventually, save up some good money, put on the market, and I did a Randy say. Randy was talking about cable and wireless, and a play
Mm-hmm.
he often makes. Like he used to bounce out around one, and at certain times, if you time it right, if you know it, you can make some good money from it. And he and some other guys had just done the play. I never understand the play at all. I never know how they make money from cable and wireless, when to buy, when to sell. I just heard them saying, yo, they whatever, this cable and wireless thing they do. So I take up my money, but I just save up for months and run go buy cable and wireless. Cable and wireless start fall. And I'm there
Yeah.
looking at the screen like, yo, wait, all this money. And Randy say, and I got really read what Randy say. Randy was saying, I just did the cable and wireless thing, which means he just sold.
How much were
So
you down?
it was a good down still. I had to have to check it back, but it wasn't a happy down. Like 150 or so I buy it, and it was going straight back to one. So a good amount of money was
Ooh.
being thrown out, and
Mm,
I was boy. It was quite a hit. It was quite a
devastated.
lesson. It was quite a lesson after that though. It was like, cool. You can't really go do that. This man not gonna get up and tell you X, Y, Z what you need to know about this thing. He's not your advisor. He's just here talking about stocks. He more the knowledge and more the conversation. So jumped into it properly then. Started doing that learning. I think I started asking Randy sensible questions after that point and building up at that point and learning a lot. That was a great year. It ended great despite that initial problem. So can't complain
Mm,
overall.
yeah, because I do have a few friends that, well, I have at least two friends I know that have stopped investing because of a bad investment.
Hmm.
And they lost money on one investment and they're just like, yo, this stock thing is just not for me and so on.
Hmm.
But you said, yo, make we try this thing again and try this thing again.
One of the
Yeah,
biggest lessons really is like the only way to fix the problem is to do it again.
true.
Like the quickest way to make back the money. Like you're here because this thing makes money, and you lose money from it. Then all right, cool. How much money do I need to make back? Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a thing I remember happened to me too. I've lost money on trades before, and I lost money. What was my worst loss? I can't remember my worst. Like maybe QWI. I bought at IPO and held that for a long time.
Quite a lot of
Um,
people did that.
yeah, and
Quite a lot still doing it. So
precisely, and look where QWI is now. It still hasn't reached IPO price,
that's
but
crazy.
my brethren told me, "Yo, bro, so you're not looking for the next opportunity," and I just like, you're very right. Like that's my goal now, to always now look for what's the next opportunity. Okay, I lost some money here, but I mean stocks go up, stocks go down every day.
Hmm.
So what's the next opportunity? So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a good way to look at it still. I
And a
rate
lot of
that.
people they they stick around in the bad thing because they don't want the bad thing to be the thing that gives them back their money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm down XYZ on this stock. I'll never sell it. I'll just hope and pray that one day it goes back up. And no, I'm at the whim and mercy of the stock price. If it doesn't go up, then I'm balling. The moment it goes back up, then okay, I finally got what I wanted, but that's probably way after you wanted, way after the timeline that you wanted that thing. So
Mm.
people are like, boy, I'm gonna hold it still. I'm gonna hold the loss. I'm afraid to take it. I'm gonna sit through it. So
Yeah,
Then I just
especially even
described the life of a Cigna shareholder.
basically,
wow, wow.
and we're in the waiting phase. Which one now? It's been quite a
When's the
wait
buyback again?
this year. Next 2023. Yeah,
Mm,
Uh,
I guess we'll see. Because we've seen buybacks before. We've seen like JMMB's
indeed,
buyback.
indeed. We haven't.
Uh,
That's a
well,
joke. We haven't.
well, wasn't there like a support level?
Yeah, man. I think we call it
Well,
fundamentals.
yeah, they need to create a price floor. This is the
Yeah, man.
true
yes.
value.
Hmm.
We're cooling down the price. We're cool. I'm trying to. So they tried to warm it up. They tried to warm it up. They're like, we cool down the price before, so let's try warm it up a little.
Hmm.
But I not seen the warming. Yeah, I think we
Boy,
need a full
I don't
floor
know.
when this is done
So
Yeah.
because
what is
I'm not
JMMB
seeing that
actually
buyback.
at now? I remember that checked a few weeks ago. It was at like 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's never up much, 31.
Back below
Let
that
me look at the
APO
queue.
price.
Look at the
Yeah.
buy queue, bro. That
APO
literally,
price was
you
what?
know,
38, 30, something
Mm-hmm.
around
38,
$38.
38, 38 something.
Yeah. I think it was 38.75 or something like that
Yeah, I
for
think
a
that's
while.
bro,
like exactly it. Yeah, 38.75
you
now.
could send you could send JMMB to 26 tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I really wish we had that short thing that that we supposed to get this in 2022 end. We should any word of that?
Right.
It's as
I
scarce
guess.
as a buyback.
I'm still trying
Um.
to understand how it will work here, though, because for something like this, right? You're
Mhm.
saying that if I was short in JMB, if I also held JMB shares, I could just send it to 26,
Yeah,
and then that would like what?
I
If you
mean, I
short
guess
the
it would
right
make
amount.
sense.
yeah. If you short the
Yeah.
right amount, then you're a thing there. Then you're probably deeper in the short than the actual trade for the shares.
Yeah.
What does
'Cause
shorting
even
really? What does shorting really mean, Danai, for the people that are listening?
You're taking a bet on the stock, and the bet you want is that the stock goes down. So if the stock goes down, you make money. If it doesn't, then you lose money. If it goes up, then you lose money. So what you're really doing is saying, all right, you're doing the reverse of when you regularly buy a stock. If it goes up, then you make money. You're just taking a bet in the next way.
Okay.
So you bad mind the stock.
Yeah. Basic. Shorting is the bad man. I love that.
I remember to help me understand it, there was like this weird thread on Twitter where there's like this girl. She has a sister, and the sister has a really nice pair of sneakers, and the sister doesn't need the pair of sneakers for like say amount of time, like 3 years or not 3 years, like 3 months, 6 months. She's like, oh, I'm gonna wear it for Christmas. It's my Christmas sneakers. If it's at $100 right now, and she could say, hey, give me this shoe, what I can do is sell it to someone, and I know that I can buy it back. I can, and it's like I can then sell it at the current price, get the money, and then if it ends up dropping, I can just buy it back at a cheaper price, and then I'll just give you back a shoe, but I can
Yep.
pocket the money.
You get $100 sneaker, you sell it at 100, and then you buy it back 3 months time for 70. You keep 30. You sit to silver sneakers.
You you took the risk on because
Yeah,
it didn't have to
because
actually happen.
suppose that limited edition Jordans and the price fly.
Yeah,
Two
that's
Right.
hundred dollars come back, you see the market, you say, boy, I want to buy these sneakers. My sister needs her sneakers. And it's $200 for the sneakers.
And you just sell it for bills. So.
If we go find that $100, the extra 100 of their pocket.
to tie what we're saying back. Our game of stocks is just looking for the things that would make it either go up or go down. So in that case, we can look for things that would
Go
make
down.
Make it
people
go
want
down.
to sell JMB. So suppose something bad happens to JMB, like the market is down. Oh no, sell, sell, and you're making money.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like
Yeah. I mean,
even if
it's always good because that's another line of profit. Like you can now profit off of the market going down.
you guys watch Billions.
Yes,
I
I
really
used to
watch
love that
billions.
show.
Oh, yeah,
He bought.
yeah.
Dump it.
We'll give this one to the pensions. JPS pension. Yo,
But
Ava
the
done forward
joke,
though.
the joke around that though is really that pensions game has been like that for a while. I think this is probably one of the first times that the public can actually view it as boy something in a way. But you're right. That pension, give it to the pension thing, that happens.
Wait, you have to kind of explain that for everybody listening.
Like your pension is probably buying a stock
Mm-hmm.
that's not doing well from somebody that was okay. I mean, that person getting out nice profit and your pension bought it. I mean, sometimes it makes sense, not every time. But that's one of them again. One of the pain points if you hear that Randy Cuss from ever since around your pension is in stock. So like even like you looking at a lot of people not in the stock market because they're not buying stocks with their own money. But then they forget they have a pension that's in the stock market. 2020, we still hearing the balling around what the pension funds were doing then and now, and how boy some people were told if you're retiring in the next 3 years, it might be best for you to just hold off a little bit because the market is down. Imagine you're 65 ready to retire Like last year, 2019, you said, cool, next year I'm retire. 2020, you're hearing, the money you invested for the last 40 years not here still, so you kind of got to wait.
Yeah, and we know some of the stocks the pensions have been buying, like the behemoth, the NCB,
Yes,
a lot of
sir.
those, and NCB has not been where it's been
Mm-hmm.
pre-pandemic.
And it's not even the stock market only, because now they're taking a beating on the bond market,
On
and
the
that's really where they're invested.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
I'm surprised I don't hear anything about that anymore. Like not them not saying. I would expect them to say the same thing again this year,
true.
or wait a little bit more. I mean, when they're 70, maybe.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the current market conditions? Because right now everybody's bought into the market down.
Market
Uh,
down. People I've been hearing that for the last 5 years.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's been a well, no, it can't be 5 years.
The market is always down. The market is always going whatever. But
Mm-hmm,
if you're not buying into the market, then you're not buying into the down, are you?
precisely.
Even when the market down, something went up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, no.
But yeah, the market, general market condition, the market is changing. The market is always changing. I think we're seeing a lot of big changes this year, and I think next year we're gonna see a lot of big changes, especially based on what a lot of things that are going on right now.
Mm,
The IPO frenzy kind of cooling down.
yeah.
The Mayberry doing a bond, the Mayberry doing a bond that is going to be tradable, and then on top of that, after that money might come back to the market because the bond is so fixed. The margin situation where over the last couple of months, you could hardly get a margin from Mayberry because they lay out all the money. So like it's
Mm-hmm,
good for Mayberry, but if you're trading on margin, which I figure a lot of Mayberry clients were, then you know that some people just never have the liquidity, not have the cash at certain times. But then if this bond goes off the right way, then a lot of that comes back.
I'm actually pretty excited about this Mayberry bond.
Indeed.
Uh, a
I mean,
tradable bond. What?
if you listen to earnings season at all, then you'd hear me and Randy say, boy, won the bond thing. But here am I, a big hypocrite, saying, yes, I'm actually excited about this bond.
Well, trust me. I was actually hoping I get paid today because I'm honestly meddling to go into. I read through part of the prospectus earlier today.
Mhm,
I still have to read a lot more, but
mhm.
to me is there are points to profit. I don't know what happens when this episode comes out if they would say anything about the bond because I know it's supposed to close sometime next year, like early January.
January 6th.
January
Yeah.
6th. Yeah, early January. So by the time
Mhm,
this comes out, I mean, things may have changed. Maybe I don't know if it can get oversubscribed before that. We'll see.
mhm,
However, I mean, a tradable bond is kind of nice still because at those rates, and I
mhm.
know the highest rate is what, 12%?
12%.
Where can you find a bond in Jamaica for 12%? Right? That's insane to me. So and
Mhm,
if to me that's a lot, and I'm not a bond investor, right?
mhm,
Imagine the bond investors, right?
mhm.
And then it's being appealed to us retail investors. If that
Yes,
is
that's the interesting part.
oversubscribed, exactly. If that is oversubscribed, in my opinion, right? Other institutions and so on are gonna want to buy into that
Of
bond. You know what I'm
course. So
saying?
you know how our market is. Everybody's do what the last guy did if he did it well. So
Exactly.
I'm
I,
I'm already hearing that some houses are looking at it more strongly now. I mean,
mhm,
this is not the first tradable bond, but at the end of the day, this is the first one from Mayberry. This is the first one that actually seems to be targeting the retail. So
mhm.
I think a lot of good things are coming out of this, and the bond itself, it kind of look like it might do something nice. So
Yeah.
I'm finding,
Also, just my disclaimer. I know you're a licensed financial advisor, but you
mhm.
don't have to give out investment advice for free.
Oh
Obviously,
no,
on the show, none of
I
what
don't
we're
do
saying
that.
is yeah. None of what we're saying. This is just all speculation. Like none of what we're saying is actual investment advice. Right?
Mhm.
Just
I
to
mean,
put
but
that
end
out
of the
there.
day, yes, this is the line I usually walk. It's hard to actually talk candidly sometimes
Yeah, I can
because know
I
what
imagine.
comes from
imagine. I
it.
can
Yeah.
imagine.
Hmm.
So
But
is it that when you're on J Trader, you can just normally go to junior market, main market. When I go
Mhm.
to bond market, I would just see
You should
MIL
see,
10% bond, all that
indeed.
different.
Yep. If you
Uh,
go it now, if you go there, you see the detail on the CPJ bond that are publicly tradable.
I say
hmm
access and CPJ.
Yeah,
Well,
access, not detail. AFS. Yes,
AF
you're right. AFS. So yeah, access on
variable
CPJ.
rate.
Yep.
But then I don't ever see any units in the queue.
No trading. None. They don't trade because nobody cares about giving it a market. So that's why I'm saying the interesting part about it is that the retail is getting in. They're bringing
So
people who already look at stocks from a trading perspective into the bond market in that way.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting to me, honestly.
Yeah, I imagine like I'm looking at when they first made the junior market. Imagine J Trader was around then, and you probably know what's almost trades went across there.
Yeah, right.
But this will be interesting because I already have a market around that kind of thing now, and then now the same platform, electronic platform available, you can actually go on it and go and trade. Anybody actually interested in that bond knows exactly where to go.
I like that. They're creating a market.
I mean, not the first for him, right? So
Yeah, facts. Not the first for them at all. They got Mayberry.